Well, I've had a little order, and I was requested to do some boxes, and I did refuse actually, but I'd already been making the boxes, and but they do take a while, and I thought these are what I normally make, just quickly. I mean, I don't make anything special, and I've got a quicker method of even making them than I had before. I put it on YouTube, how I make a box, and it was a quick way, but I think this is even quicker than the one I've got now. And that's what I usually make when I make a box. I turn it into something like this when I've finished. So there's a lot of tightening up to make a box, and if it's special, you don't mind making them. But if you're going to make 20 or 30 or 40, you're talking about 80 little boxes, half boxes. So you're going to make one of them, 80 of them, let's talk 40 of them and 40 of them if it's 40 bars. So you need 80 little half boxes. And these are what I have been making. These are the little boxes I've been making, and they're slightly different. And I was going to put it on YouTube about how you make them. And I've got a couple of ideas about the box lid, about putting a couple of little things on the top of the box to make it look thingy, look resplendent. I can't think of a special name. Posh, I call it posh, but yeah. So these boxes they're nothing special. It's just these boxes I covered, and I cover them rather quickly. And usually what I do, I cover the insides with the colour I want, and then I put the thing on the outside. But I'd already made the boxes, so I had to go to a different method to put these on. And I quite like the outcome, although they're still not all that quick to make. I can still make them quicker than an ordinary box, and they look quite the part actually. They look quite all right. They don't look too bad, and I'm going to put that on top of the lid like so to give it a special thing, and then wrap it on and put my label on, put my little sort of label on, and that's it. That'll be it finished. I'm toying with the idea of putting these on YouTube. I haven't finished them properly yet, and it's something brand new at the moment. It's something I've done that's newish. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. Everybody's done what it's already been done on YouTube. Whatever it is you've done, it's already been done on YouTube. Somebody's already thrown it up. But there might be a few variations on this that are a little bit different, that somebody might find easy and pleasurable to make, rather than... I don't do any measuring, but I'm not quite sure whether I will or not. I've got to make these two boxes up, so I'm thinking of making these two boxes into a little video of how I make those. And then the labels are quite easy to cut the things on, and I've got to put to and from on these. I've got a little stamp to just press on with it, to and from, and put my little logo inside, and that should be it. And I'll shrink wrap them. The soaps are shrink wrapped already, and then I'm going to shrink wrap the packaging just like I've done on here. So it'll be slightly different to what they are. It'll look different, slightly different. Anyway, I'll stop there, and I'll carry on, and I'll make an effort to do something nice. They're for my daughter-in-law actually, and I didn't really want to refuse her, but I didn't really want to make a load of boxes. I really didn't want to make any boxes, but she's special, so I will try. And I'm going to make I've got a couple more colours to go on. I've got dark green, I've got that kind of green, and I've got a lighter green than that, and I've got darker blues, and I haven't got darker pinks, I don't think, but I've got lighter yellow, which is that one. I might make a package of. So I'm going to do 6 sort of different colours, and then I've got a set of boxes over here which I'm making up at the moment. I think there's 1, 2, 3, there's about 4, 1, 2, there's about 4 there, yeah. So I'm going to make another 4, so that'll give me 10, and I'm hoping 10 will do. I'll do half in one and half in the other, and I might make some boxes for me other soaps, because they're varying sizes now. They're all different sizes. I'm cutting, I think it's a 1 kilo slab I've been making. I've been making £3 ones and a 1 kilo one, which is 2.2 pounds. So I'm all odd sizes with odd boxes, and these boxes you can make in odd sizes. It makes no difference. They'll quite happily, you can make them into whatever you want. And I still don't measure anything. I don't measure. The only thing I do measure, I do a couple of little measurements, but they're not really technical or anything. If I'm making these boxes, I go to 2.5 inches. That's all, on the extremities, to making them, just for mapping out, and then I put the thing in the middle and then glue it down. And how you do that, I'll probably show you in the next instalment of my riveting videos. Anyway, I'll stop there, because Ted won't be laughing at this. He'll think I've got some more. He's got some more crap coming. So he didn't sound all that happy today. So I don't know whether I'm going to send him these or not. He's a miserable sod. Anyway, I'll stop there, and I keep saying I'll stop there, and I usually don't, but I will. Okay, well, first steps in making a box. The quickest one I know to make is a piece of 1mm card, and that's all this is, just a 1mm piece of card. And on it I've drawn my soap, which is standard. If you need a standard soap, of course, but you can measure any piece of soap. It doesn't make any difference, as long as you get the height of the soap. And mine's just less than an inch high. And what I've done is I've just drawn around it an inch, and then put my pencil on and drawn a line, and then an inch along the top, and then drawn a line, and then you'll have that business arrangement like so. See if I can get the bit of light on this. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not quite sure whether you can see this or not. Yeah, there's where the two ends join, and where the two ends join, you just put your piece of soap like so, and you leave about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Take into account if you've already put your shrink wrap on it, that the shrink wrap is there's little bits of lumps and bumps on the shrink wrap. And then put your ruler on again at the end of the soap, the back end of the soap, leave a little gap, and then draw a line, put it back on again, turn it around, line it up so it fits again within your dimensions, and then put your ruler on again and measure that again, and then put a final line down the bottom like so. And what you'll have there is try and make it so you can see it. I can't really get in any further than this. So that's the bit you want, 1 inch all the way around the soap. Like so. And then get your little knife, and cut the piece out, and you should have that now, that shape. I'm not sure if you can see this or not. I'm in my own light here. And you can either use that as a template for the next one, which I usually do. I usually just pop it on like so, and it'll do for a template for your next box. Just draw around it. And just mark out the little marks where there we go. It's as quick as this. There's nothing too technical in this at all. You can make as many of these as you like. I mean, there's no just check your settings. There we are, and all you've got to do now is to cut that piece out as well. You can usually get 2 pieces out of a 1mm card, A4 size. And you've still got the other little bits for something else, for some other job. I'll get rid of that. I run a little bit out of line there. This is the easiest way I know of making a box, a quick box. They're not too flashy or anything like that. So I'll keep one as a template and use the one I've just made. And all I do, you can put your ruler on and cut it, but I then cut the corners. Like so. I cut off the end little squares. I do it by eyeball because I've been doing it a while, but if you're making about 20 of these things, you need to do them rather quickly. And you'll cut a little piece off each corner like that, and it'll be an inch square, obviously, depending on the size of your box. I mean, if your box is only half an inch high, you'd only get a half an inch square, and so on. So you can make a box of any size, it makes no difference. There's no measuring or anything apart from the height of your soap. The height of your soap and the length and the width of your soap is what you're actually going on. And all I'm doing is just putting it in the centre with a little gap around it, and if I'd have been doing this without talking, it would have took me a couple of minutes, that's all really. I mean, it would have been nothing. So you can see how quick that is. So I've got the 4 bits there. You can jettison them unless you've got a use for them. And then what I do then, I use a little pin, which I've got, and I put the thing on, square it between the edges, put the ruler on between the edges, like so, and then just score lines down where the pencil lines are, and don't do it too much because you'll go straight through. You only need to do it once on a 1mm card, and you do both sides, and that'll stop it tearing or breaking up or whatever, and it'll give you a much nicer bend. And these 1mm cards are from Amazon. They're from Amazon boxes. I use Amazon boxes. I use any old scrappy card as long as it's the size that I need. As long as it's about 1mm or so. Half a millimetre is a little bit too small. And now you've done that, all you've got to do is to turn the corners up like so. And if it's too high, that one is slightly high there by a millimetre, so I just whip it off. Just a smidgen, just what you to correct it, and you find it comes. Usually I do these in one fell swoop, but today it's been a little puzzle. So I'll level that one off. If I'd have been more careful, I wouldn't have got this. So I'm sure you'll be more careful than I am. You do all your corrections, and then all you do then is a little bit of sellotape, and I like to be clean and tidy, so I'll cut a little bit of tape off and stick it on the edge of the table, 4 of them, and put it up this end so you can see what I'm doing. And then you get your box. Yeah, you just stick the corners. There's no rocket science in this at all, but I'm saying that if you're doing a lot of boxes, you need something very quick, and what I normally find is that these bits of tape will lift. If it's cheap old tape, it will lift. There's your box. But to finalise, what I usually do is I usually stick a piece all the way around. This is the careful bit. Stick it on, and then wrap a piece all the way around. I hope you can see this. I'm not very good at this. And then when you come to the last bit, chop it off, and then get a little bit of PVA glue if you've got any PVA glue or whatever. And what I usually do, I usually put a little bit on the end, put a little bit of glue on the end, rub it in with your finger well, and then push it down, and you'll find that'll seal it off quite nicely. So there'll be no cracks or lumps or bumps. So I've got a little bit of a lift there, I don't know what that is, but I can soon rectify that with a squeeze of this. Yeah. Yeah, I'd split the box somehow, I don't know how I've done it, but no big problem, it won't be seen when we're finished, it'll all be covered. And there's your box. The lid done already, or the base, whichever you've done first. And what we've got to do now, it is the base actually, and the soap will fit in that exactly just like so. And now what we've got to do is do the lid, and it's quite easy to do the lid. We just make the lid a little bit bigger by I'll show you the lid. I'll just stop there because my back's hurting me a little bit. Well, to save time, I've put the box on, which I've just made, because this is the base and this is going to be the actual lid, and I've done an inch around, all the way around it again, and measured around the box. So the first thing I did was the same as what I did on the first one, was to put the ruler on, an inch down, an inch across, put the box into the corner, leave a small gap all the way around, otherwise you won't get the lid onto the top of the box. Make sure it's done, then put an inch round again, the same as we did in the first box, and cut the wee beastie off again. And you can either use this one as a template, the other one I marked with base, and I'll put lid on this one. And I ain't gonna do another one of these because I'm doing it for speed now because I've got a long way to go. And there she is again, same thing, except this is just slightly bigger, and you got one piece there to do another one on if you want to cut the piece out. So I don't find them all that difficult, so sometimes I don't even bother with a template. And you can put a ruler on or whatever you like, but I usually cut these by hand, by eyeball. So you take the inches off the end of the corners again. Same as normal. No rocket science in this at all. It's the quickest way I know of making a box. You can cover the squares with paper if you want to, of whatever colour you want, but I'd made a mistake and I hadn't done it. I'd made the boxes already.